So ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure and privilege to be here every Saturday morning with Dinah Hunter and Gary Knapp. I do say this every week and I genuinely mean it. I think we gain more than we give by being here. It's almost 20 years we've been doing this together, and we deeply appreciate you. And we know that Saturday morning isn't always the best time for all families. So we get a lot of people watching the recordings as well, which is, that's what this business is all about, is we're a team together. Today we have Luciano Fidalgo. Very excited about this. He always says yes. We usually get the top US people once a year. Their time zone is not too bad for us, as opposed to getting the South Africans or the British. Luciano, let's talk a little bit about his background. So with over 30 years experience in the direct sales and networking industry, Luciano is a sought after coach. At the time, he just had graduated from university and was looking for more than just a job. In 2003, he found Manitech and its products. Today, he's a gold presidential with a 100,000 plus organization in over 20 countries. He's a member of the Strategy and Planning Group for North America, a strategic group that assists with Manitech's future direction and training program development. Luciano has been recognized as Business Builder of the Year for North America in 2013, 14, and 18, and is a member of the Chairman's Club. He also won Manitech's first Trip of a Lifetime incentive. Luciano is widely respected across the Manitech community and is known to be a man willing to be of assistance to anyone. He's passionate, skilled, and professional. And today we're going to be all about answering questions, and he was so excited to have that topic. He said, I love doing that. Luciano, welcome to our call.
Thank you. It's an honor. It's a privilege being here. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. Great. That's perfect. So do you want to just maybe start with giving people, I'm just scanning, there are some people's names who I haven't seen, so everybody will be learning. Let's start with you just giving us a little bit about your background and how you chose to partner with Manitech.
Okay, well, thank you. First of all, thank you for the invitation. It is really an honor and a privilege to be here and chatting with you guys again. It's always an honor because I don't take it lightly. I know you guys are not part of my organization, so you put in your trust in me to come and speak to the people and all of your organizations. So I don't take that lightly, and I appreciate that very much. Just let's start there. And if I say anything because the idea is I don't want to say anything that's going to create any confusion, but just in case I say something that you guys are like, whoa, do not change anything or do anything until you talk to your upline. Okay, so that's the rule of the house. Make sure that especially if you're new, and I'm saying something that you might not, maybe you shouldn't hear something that you haven't heard already. So let's, but if you do, please by no means, go and do something without checking with your upline, because your lifeline in this business is your upline. There is no ands, buts, and if about that, But I started in 1987, and the reason I got started, and the reason I got excited was I saw a way that a 23-year-old could do something that could actually change his life, change my life at that time. And I remember I went to a presentation, and the gentleman that was speaking was a retired university professor. This was in Massachusetts. It was in the winter. It was cold, and anything that can help me look at the future with residual income, I was excited about it, because that means I could pack my bag and leave whenever I had made enough income residually. So that's where I started. I didn't have any training at all. I studied business in school, but that was totally different from what this is. I didn't know anything. I didn't have any experience. I didn't have the network of friends or connections that people say, hey, if you had that, you do well. I didn't have any of those things. I hated speaking in public. I didn't want to sell anything, but I had one thing. The thing that I had was I was looking for a way not to have the alarm clock control my life or have a boss control my life. And those two things were the things that were pushing me and pushed me to go out and build a business. And even though I wasn't comfortable speaking in public, and even though I wasn't comfortable selling things, I had to overcome those things and become good at it if I wanted to get to the places I was looking to get to in terms of finances and my life and my lifestyle. I think you're muted, Sharon.
Yeah, I am. I'm in a temporary office while we renovate the
Okay.
office, and so I've got a family of teenagers around me, so I'm being concerned about background noise. Um, they're making breakfast in the other room, so I can hear them, and so I'm trying to be respectful. It's awesome to hear you say that, Luciano, because people, when they look at people who are in a successful position like yourself, they don't realize that you started the same as everybody else, you know, where you didn't have all the skills and you didn't walk in and know everything, and you had a learning curve and had to learn new things. And that's where we all get started. And I think it's what I just heard you say is it's your passion and your goals that drive you forward through those ups and downs and learning curves that we experience.
Oh, absolutely. And sometimes, that's the only thing that you have when you get those days where you make a phone call and they say, hey, Sharon, listen, we will be there. We will meet you at a certain time. And then, you show up and you're there and you're sitting there and you're looking at your watch and it's like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour and a half, and they don't show up. Not only do they not show up, and I don't know if the New Zealanders and the Australians and, you guys do that over there, but this is what happens here in the US, and then they don't even call you to tell you why they're not coming,
Yeah.
So those are the days that you really need to think about what was the reason that you got involved in Manatech the first day you saw Manatech, and never forget that reason. I remember the first meeting I did on my own, by myself, and I was already, I think I was it was in Manatech, but this was in 1987. This is prior to Manatech. But I remember I picked a person that he was my soccer coach. He was my middle school teacher. He was an older brother of mine, kind of person. So I was not afraid. I had the confidence I can share with him. And I remember sitting there and sharing the opportunity with him. And he sat there, because obviously we had the relationship. He sat there, he listened to everything that I had to say, with his arms crossed and me just talking and talking and talking. And he didn't interrupt me at all. And when I finished, and I was very excited because, I finished, and when I finished, he looked at me, he said, I gotta ask you a question. I said, what's that? He says, most people, when they go to the university and they get a diploma, they usually come out smarter. What happened to you?
Oh, no.
That was his reaction to me showing him the business. And I'm telling you, that's the day that I decided that I was the owner of my own business. And what other people's opinion didn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you one thing, I was mad. But he didn't know I was mad. Because I was mad inside. Now, not only did I have the goal of not having an alarm clock or not having a boss, now I had the goal of showing this guy that he knew nothing about what he was talking about. So the reason I tell people these stories is what you were saying earlier, Sharon. People see somebody like myself who's been in Manatech now almost 20 years, and they'll see me speaking on stage, or they'll listen to me on a Zoom, or they'll listen to some of my recordings that I did in different places, and they'll say, "Oh, listen to him. Of course, he can do this. Listen to how he can share the presentation, and he can do the training, and blah 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 blah." They say all these things. But they don't really know what happened to me in the beginning, the first day, the first week, the first time I had my own, first personal presentation. So I like to share these stories because, look, new people want to know. I want new people to know that you don't have to be a perfect presenter. You don't have to know about all the things that you need to know to become successful in the business. You don't need to know about amyloids and all the science behind amyloids and glyconutrients and all that stuff. In the beginning, what's going to drive you and take you to success is just the fact that you're excited about something. I was excited. So to finish that story and not tell you the long version, 90 days later, I saw that guy. And back then they used to mail your check at home and we used to make copies of it. And I saw that same guy and he said to me, he says, how's the business going? I said, oh, not as good as I thought. And you could see him smiling because he's saying, "Hey, I told you so." So I said, "But let me show you something." I took a copy of my check and I stuck it in his face. I said, "Now look at that." I said, "What do you think about that after less than 6 months in the business?" He took it, he looked at it, he says, "This must be fake." I said, "Yeah, there you go again with your expert opinion." It was more money that he was making as a teacher after almost 15 years teaching than I was making my business. So do not listen to people's opinion. Everybody will give you free opinion, and because opinions are free and advisors are free, but don't listen to them unless they are in life where you want to be in life.
Absolutely. You have to trust your heart and passion, don't you, and your goals.
Yes.
To see a bigger and better world for yourself, because nobody else can do it for us, really.
Exactly.
So we have quite a few, about 7 or 8 questions that have come in.
Okay.
And quite a few of them, we'll start with the ones about how to talk to people. So I know, and one topic in particular, I think is a really good foundation to start with. How do you and how do you share on the legacy nature of Manatech? So as a legacy company?
This is going to surprise you. I don't ever talk about Manatech as a legacy company. I don't get into those things. See, I am so simple that I just don't get into Manatech as a legacy company, because you start talking, you talk too much, you say too much, you give too many informations, people get confused, and then everybody's like, well, what's the legacy company? The fact that Manatech has been in business for almost 30 years is enough for me. I don't have to say Manatech is a legacy company, because people don't even know what that means. So when you say, how do I speak to people? It's very simple. Here's what I tell you. Let's say I met you somewhere, Sharon, and we just started a conversation, normal conversation. Hey, how are you, Sharon? Hey, where are you from? Are you from around here? How long have you lived here? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I just moved to Sarasota last year, Sarasota, Florida. So I'm just beginning to still know the place, So whenever I meet people, the first thing they ask me is, so where did you move from? Oh, I moved from Orlando, Florida. Oh, okay. And what about you? Where did you move from? Oh, I moved from Wisconsin. Oh, good decision, especially in the winter. You don't want to. So you get into those kind of conversations, And sooner or later, something in that conversation is going to talk about either your health or a situation that has to deal with money. It always happens. So let's say we're having a conversation, Sharon, and you say to me, oh, I wish, I just need more energy, or I'm just not sleeping well at night, or anything. Or I wish I could maybe, I wish I was, in a better wellness situation. Well, see, that kind of conversation takes me right into our products. If you say to me, well, I wish I had a little bit more energy, I would say to you, really? I would say, well, you know what, Sharon? It's interesting that you say that, because I might have a solution for that. Now, are you saying it just because you're whining, or are you really interested in having more energy? Because if you're just saying it just because you're whining, I can't really help you. But if you're really serious, I could probably show you something that might help you if you're interested. But if you're not, no big deal. So I keep it. And people say, but was that how you used to speak to people? Yes. I never ran after somebody. I never begged somebody to get in my business. I never told them that they need to get in my business because I need them to be in my business, because I need to get some volume, because I need to get to the next level. I know I'm going fast, but I'll slow down a little bit, I never tell them that. I just, if we get into a conversation that has to do anything with health, I'm talking to you about our products. I'm talking to you about our science. I'm saying, hey, listen, I'm not sure if it's going to help you, but I've had people that I work with that has taken it, and they've gotten some benefits. But just in case you don't have benefits, it's guaranteed anyway, so you don't have nothing to lose. Simple as that. No big deal. And if they say, no, I'm just going to the next one. The problem comes when you're needy, and everybody that you see, you think needs to be in your business, and they already know that you're needy, and they're not going to be in your business because you're needy. So that's the one side of the puzzle. But the other side of the puzzle, which I think is even more important than the product side of the business, because you see, your business is only duplicated by the people who come in because they want to make money. I know people say, but that's not true. Trust me, after 30 years, I can tell you, when you look at the big leaders in network marketing, most of them are big leaders because they have big leaders in the organization that really wanted to change their financial situation. If I look at my South African group, the only reason Louis and Leonie's got the kind of group that they have is because Louis, when we first got started, the only thing he wanted to do is to make money from the, he was interested in the products, but his goal was not, let me go teach you everything that Dr. Nugent can teach you. His goal was, let Dr. Nugent teach you everything that he can teach you because he's really good at it. Let me go teach you how to build a business and change your life. So that's why he's got a bunch of platinums in South Africa, gold presidential, silver presidential, bronze presidential, and presidential, because that's what they do. So, but then people say, well, how do you speak to those people? Easy. If you say to me, hey, I wish I could take a longer vacation, or I wish I could send my kids to this university, or I wish my kids could travel around the world for 6 months. I wish I could travel around the world for 6 months. Anything that has to do with finances, now I'm excited. I'm not showing you that I'm excited. See, my energy level is the same. My enthusiasm is the same all the time. So new people, if you say to them, oh, listen, I wish I could make $1,000 extra a month, now they're going to go full blast. Let me show you how to do it. I'm going to show you right now. This is so exciting. Blah, blah. And then they talk themselves right out of a good prospect. No. You maintain your same level of excitement. You maintain your emotional level the same exact way. Or else you're going to be in a roller coaster business that won't last very long. Because you're excited and not excited. You're excited and not, oh, did you sign up? Woo-hoo, I'm signed up. And then they quit. Oh, this is not going to work. So that will drive you nuts and kill your business. So your emotional state needs to be very balanced. Now, when you go home, now you can get excited by yourself in your room. You say, man, I gotta do it. I think I gotta do that. I'm not sure if they're gonna do something yet, but I think they might do something. I'm excited. But they're only gonna do something based on what you help them with. And we're gonna get into that conversation. I know you're asking me questions, but I think I need to tell you, I need to go along on this one because I think this is important. So now I got, you say, you'd like to have, more vacations. You say you like to send your kids to some private universities and private schools. So I say to you, Sharon, is that something that you really, really think that that's something that really drives you? She said, yes. I said, okay. I said, look, I might have some solutions for you. Look, we are solutions provider. That's what we are. We provide solutions to people's problems. You know what area? Health and finances, 100%. You got a health challenge? I got a solution. You got a financial challenge? I got a solution. It's that simple. So I don't get into legacy company and all these things about glyconutrients and the language of this. It doesn't. New people don't care. New people want to know, can your products help me? Yeah, I want to try it. Can I make money from this? Yeah, show me. See, when I found Manatech, nobody showed me Manatech. Nobody called me and said, hey, let me show you the Manatech business. You know how I found it? I was in Europe. See, I had been traveling and I was having some health issues. And I was in Europe. I was in Turkey. I had done a meeting in Turkey with 900 people in a room. And, I was tired. I was low in energy. I had major headache and I was just not feeling good. So I said, I need to go home and go look at some, and the products that I was representing was pretty good, but obviously it wasn't good enough because it wasn't doing the things I wanted it to do for me. So I came back home. I looked in the internet. I said, let me look for some plant-based, natural, health and wellness products. And I found my Enrollers website. This is now in 2002, where Manatech and Manatech Associates had some websites that they were using. So I found my Enrollers website, and then I clicked on it, and I started reading about the science and the products. So I called them and said, look, I have these issues. Can your products help me? He says, yes. About the products. 2 weeks later, I called them back and said, listen, I want to upgrade because this thing is unbelievable. That's how I got in. But the next thing I did was, listen, if these products are so good, I want to go check out the business side of this business. So I went to Manifest. Yeah, that's my first thing I did. I went to Manifest because I wanted to see the business side of the business, because I knew if the products were good, the business side had to be good. And the only way I could duplicate my business was finding people that wanted to build and duplicate my business. That's why when you read my bio, it says 100,000 people plus. It's not because I went out and put 100,000 people plus in my business. No. I put like 20 something people. That's it. And then, but I got the people that wanted to build businesses and create income. That's how that happened. So when you're speaking to people about business, don't be shy. See, the thing is with Manatech Associates, nobody wants to talk about business. Nobody wants to talk about making money. Everybody's talking, the question like, how do I get customers? How do I maintain my customers? That's easy. Just put them on the products. The products are guaranteed, man. If they don't work, they don't pay for it. As simple as that. You only pay for the products if the products work for you. So that how you get customers, that's it. They talk about, hey, their health. Hey, I got a solution for you. They talk about business. Hey, listen, we need to talk. I can show you a program in the next 12 to 24 months that can put you on a path that can change your financial life. Yeah, how do you know that? Well, because I done it myself, and I have other people who've done it in my organization. Let's say you don't have an organization yet where you have made enough money to say that to people. Say, look, I'm working with some partners who have done it, and they're teaching me to do it. Simple as that. So you use third party to help you. Because sometimes people say, but I'm new. I don't even have a business. I'm not even a regional director. That's okay. I'm working with some people. I'm working in a team. Listen, my team has helped people all over the world to be able to do this. So you see, so I don't get into all that other stuff that people, legacy company and glycobiology. It sounds good. But the new people are like, listen, this stuff I'm telling you right now, guys, let me see. All of you that are on here, 26 right now, that I can see. Maybe 30 something, I don't know. The stuff I'm telling you right now is going to give you the ability to take 2 vacations every single year, 6 months at a time. That's it. Okay, Sharon, more questions.
Well, and part of the legacy question, I think, is how do you communicate, if someone's interested, how would you communicate the benefit of the residual income and the opportunity to will that to your family or your children?
Oh, that's awesome. That's a good question. See, when I talk to people about building the business, and especially if they have children, because my kids are in my business, but especially when you're building a business and you look at the future of what you're doing, like for instance, you could be a high executive, and you can create a nice lifestyle, and you can create income for you and your family. But whenever you retire, you're only going to get whatever that retirement income is, and that's it. So what happens after you pass away with the retirement income? The retirement income goes away. Yeah. So here you're building an income. But see, but let me tell you, I don't really get that in depth when I'm speaking to the new people about this. I don't tell them none of this stuff. When I first speak to you is really what I just told you earlier.
Yeah.
When I get to talk to you and I say to you, hey, Sharon, what is it that you really want from Manatech? And you say to me, no, you know what? I want to create legacy income. I want to be able to create something that I can leave to my kids. Oh, okay. I said, that sounds good. Or maybe I want to develop a 6-figure income. Okay, that's awesome. See, this is the part that is crucial when you're talking to the business builder. This is where you need to find out exactly what they want so you can help them develop a plan. Because look, if I just put you in business, and I'm talking to you, Sharon, because we're having this, but I'm talking to everybody on here, If you want to build a business, or if you have anybody in your organization who says to you, I want to build a business, I want to go presidential, it's crucial for all of us to know exactly what they want, and then for us to develop a plan to help them. Now, how many of you guys know Al Bala? Or at least you've heard of Al Bala, right? Lots of you, right? Well, let me tell you a story. In 1987, when I got involved, I didn't know Al Bala, but he turned up to be my upline in the business that I was involved in. I didn't know them. I did not know him before that. But in 1987, when I couldn't speak to anybody by myself, when I was scared to sell anything, That El Bala said to me, he said, you know what? He said, Luciano, I'm going to prove to you that this business works. I said, really? He said, yeah. He says, as a matter of fact, I believe so much in it that I'm going to take the next 90 days, 3 months. I'm going to come to your house every Monday night. Oh, think about that. He says, I'm going to come to your house every Monday night. Now, we had Tuesdays, every Tuesday night, we had a business presentation at a hotel. But he said to me, he says, look, I'm going to come to your house every Monday night, and I'm going to prove to you that this business works. He says, I'm going to do 95% of the work for you. He says, the only thing that, and then I'm not the smartest person on earth, but I'm thinking to myself, man, if somebody is going to do 95% of the work for you, that's a pretty good deal on anything. So my question to him was, what's the 5% I have to do? He says, the 5% that you have to do is get everybody that you have in your head and take it out of your head and put it on a piece of paper with their phone number. I said, that's it? He said, that's it. I said, and the rest you're going to do? He said, yeah. He said, so put everybody on a piece of paper that you know, and then I want you to call all the closed ones and tell them that, hey, you're inviting them to come and see a business presentation that you just got involved in, but you just got involved in it and you don't really know how to explain it, but one of your business partner is going to come to your house and he's going to do the explanation. That's exactly how I built my business. 90 days later, I was at Gold Presidential without ever showing one business presentation by myself. Why do I tell you that story? I tell you that story because, see, a lot of us, we put people in our business, they tell us they want to go presidential, but we don't help them develop a plan, and we don't help them execute that plan. Just me sponsoring Gary or just me sponsoring Diane doesn't do anything. But if I can say to Diane, hey, Diane, you want to be a presidential? Yes. Okay, yeah, I want to be presidential. Diane, you know what? Every week, I'm going to be on Zoom. I'm going to do a Zoom presentation for you. You just invite the people. I'll create the link. I send it to you. And I want you to tell them that one of your business partners from the United States is going to be on that call. He's very successful. He has helped many people have create financial independence. You tell them to come and listen. And I guarantee you, if they come, we're going to tell them something good. And then I'm going to tell Diane, take notes, listen carefully to how I'm doing this, take notes, because I want you to be able to do the same thing I'm doing. Because you see, when I can get Diane to do what I'm doing, now she's the owner of her business. Guys, this is when we do what we call the hallelujah breakdown. Now you got a leader.
Awesome, Luciano, that's awesome. And so people, I know we always get into a bit of a difficult situation. People want to know what you share with people. Do you give them education? And I know this is an international business, so everybody just realized that we can't copy exactly what Luciano does. But in principles, what kind of education do you offer? So obviously, you start by asking, discovering a need and then asking questions and getting permission to share some information. What do you recommend? Like, I know I made a lot of mistakes in giving too much, and I still probably would tend to that because it's so bad. I'm so excited about it and passionate about it. But what's your recommendation on what and how much to give people?
I don't know if you guys actually know about Rapid Funnel or seen Rapid Funnel or even understand what Rapid Funnel is. But I'm going to use, even if you don't know it, I'm going to use it as an example.
Okay.
So we started Rapid Funnel and we created a presentation that was 13 minutes long. So I looked at it and I sent it out to a few people. I'm like, nah, it's not working. So we need to shorten it. So we took that from 13 minutes to 6 minutes. So to answer your questions, the less, the better.
Okay.
Initially, I don't mean the less, the better forever. I'm just saying, if I'm talking to Gary, right? I want to give Gary enough information for him to be able to make a decision. But I'm not going to give him all the information. Because if I give him all the information, then what question do I have to go back to him the next time? But if I give Gary a nice, precise information on what Manatech is and the benefits for him to be part of it, that's all I want him to know. So I don't get into explaining the entire product. I've been on presentations where, man, it took like 3 hours because they explain the entire product lines. They talk about everything they know about glycobiology and all that stuff. That's not the place for it. There is place for those things. But initially, when I'm talking, let's say if I'm talking to Gary, I'm just trying to figure out what is it that Gary is looking for. How can I help him get there with the least amount of me talking as possible? I want Gary to ask questions. I want him to tell me what it is that he's looking for, because I know if he's doing most of the talking, he's interested. If I'm doing most of the talking, not good. Because and so some people say, well, but how do you do that? I ask you questions, Sharon. I'll say to you, hey Sharon, so what has changed in your life to make you be out here looking for something different? How long have you been working? I love asking this question. Like if I'm at a store or if I am at a restaurant, people say, what do you say to people? I say a lot of crazy things, guys. So the idea is there is not one specific way that works. There is not one way that you can talk to people. It's all about our different personality, So sometimes I'll walk into a restaurant and, somebody like somebody really nice would come and they have great personality. And I'll say to them, how long have you been working here? Oh, and they'll say like, oh, I've been here for 8 years. And I really love this place because I get to meet people like you. I said, oh, great. And then the next question I ask them is like, you must be making a lot of money, man. Not one person has told me, man, I'm making so much money that I don't need anymore. Not one. So they usually says, maybe I'm doing okay, but oh no. I'm not making that much money. See, I didn't tell them, you must be the most healthiest person on earth. Or do you have any? So my opening line, and if I go into a clothing store and there's a clerk there, sometimes, you meet a person who's been there for a while and they give you good service. I compliment them. I say, man, thank you for the service. How long have you been working here? Oh, I've been working here 3 weeks. Wow, you must be making a lot of money. I don't care if they just started yesterday. The idea is most of them are not making a lot of money. And if you could show them how to make a little bit more money, they would be interested in talking to you. I just went to a restaurant not too far from my house. Young kid, I asked him, where are you from? Are you from here? He said, no, I moved from San Diego, California. That is like the other side of the United States. I said, really? I said, do you have families here? He said, no, but I always wanted to come and live on this side of the country, so I decided to take a plunge and just come. And I said to him, I said, so how long have you been working here? So I've been working here 6 months. So wow, I said, you must be making a lot of money then. He said, no, as a matter of fact, I'm always keeping my options open. I'm like, whoa, I didn't say that to him. In my head, I'm like, whoa, I'm supposed to be saying that to you. Are you keep your options open? I didn't say that to him, but in my head, I'm saying that, So the conversation, you just keep it, just keep it simple,
Yeah.
One guy asked me what I did one time, and I really didn't want to talk to him because he's kind of like his attitude just didn't mesh with mine. So I just looked at him. I said, you know what I do? I draw circles, I eat a lot, and I laugh a lot. And then that was the end of the conversation. So I say, when I say to you, there's not a real one way of talking to people. It just depends on the situation. What is it that you're talking about? If it's anything to do with health, it's products. If it's anything to do with money, it's business.
Awesome. I think that's really helpful because too much information is overwhelming, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: it's not duplicatable. I have a guy in my organization. I tell you, he can speak about the science and the products like almost like Dr. Nugent. Not like Dr. Nugent, but close to Dr. Nugent. And he's very proud of that. And he should be, because I don't speak anywhere near what, I know all the basics of our products. I know the science of glycobiology, because I need to know that because I'm a leader. But I don't want to be like Dr. Nugent because he's an expert in that, right? So we had a meeting and he had about 15 people in his house. And guess what? Most of the people's comments were, wow, that was amazing. I could never do that.
Yes.
Listen, that is the last thing you want to hear after you finish a meeting. You don't want to ever hear people say, wow, you were amazing. I could never do that, because that means you are not duplicatable and your business will never grow. So you want people to say, wow, if they can do it, I know I can do it. So sometimes people say to me, why do you speak so fast? Because I want people to know I'm not perfect. People say, but you have an accent. Most of the time, they don't even understand you. Great. And if I can do it, what's your excuse?
I like fast talking people. I talk too fast too.
I tell them they just need to listen faster. They listen too slow.
Faster. Exactly. And I've got some questions around that are specific for structure. So if you're in a position that, maybe I don't really know the situation for this person, but say you had to take time out and you're coming back to your Manatech business and you've got a really large volume in one leg. If you were that person's leader, what would you advise them to do? What would be their best strategy?
First of all, I'd be saying, thank you, God, that I already have some business built in my organization. Because let me tell you something. When you have a large organization, one large leg, that's huge for you. So the only thing that you have to do is go talk to your upline or talk to whoever it is that you're working with, right? Let's just say again, I'll use you. Let's say I just sponsor you years back, and which I actually have people in my organization in that same situation, and I'm sure a lot of people do. But let's say I sponsored you 5-6 years ago, Sharon, and you were in, and then life happens, and you went away, and now you got a big, huge leg under you, one leg. So you come back to me and you say, wow, listen, I really want to do this. I've had some changes in my life. I need some money and I want to build a business. I have this nice organization right now. First advice to you is stay away from that organization. Because they grew without you. They probably don't need you. See, the problem is our ego gets in the way. And when the ego gets in the way, we think that we're the leader of those people. We're not. Those people grew themselves without you. I'm just using you as an example.
Yeah.
If it's me, I do the same thing.
Yeah, no.
See, this is where people mess up, and it's like, man, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. So the way I look at it, if I had a big organization, I was coming back to build the business, I would just leave them alone. I wouldn't even call them and say, hey, I'm back. I would just go do whatever it is that you do to grow your business. I don't even want to know. And now, if they call me and say, hey, listen, we're glad we're back. Maybe we could do something together. That's fine. But personally, I would never call them to tell them I'm back and how can I help them. I wouldn't. But what I would do is I would go find another 2 or 3 or 4 good people to work with, new people, and go build the business with those people. So if I got one that's already big, I'm going to go look for 2. I'm going to go look for 3. I'm going to go look for 4. Meaning leg number 2, leg number 3, leg. Now look, I don't want to teach you how to build structure because I don't know how you guys build structure. So I'm just saying what I would do personally in my business. If you guys build structure differently, then you go build it the way that you guys build it. But personally, if I had a big leg, I would go find some other side legs to create side volumes so I can get paid. Because one leg is not going to pay you anything. 2 legs is going to pay you okay. 3 legs is going to pay you better. 4 legs is going to pay you even better. So I would go concentrate on looking for business builders who wants to build a business with me with other legs. That's what I would be doing. Customers, look, people say, but you don't talk about customers. I do talk about customers. Let's say I'm talking to Gary again, and I say to Gary, hey Gary, listen, this is this is the business. I showed him the business presentation, and he says to me, well, this looks good, but this is not a real good timing for me right now. Then this is where I would say to him, listen, this is not, maybe this is not a good timing for you, and I understand that. Do you mind if we keep in contact? Maybe down the road, 5 months down the road, 6 months down the road, maybe things changes in your life, it would be better timing for you. Most of the time they'll say, yeah, no problem. But then I said to Gary, I said, look, what about trying some of our products? Or do you know anybody in your sphere of influence who might need these type of products that we're working with? See, that's how I get my customers. I don't really go out to look for customers. Now, like I said, if they're talking about health, I get my customers. But the majority of the ways that I get my customers is by first talking to them about businesses, if that's what they want, And then if they say, well, this is not a real good time for me right now, it's not a good fit, I try to turn them into a customer. Yeah? So I do have customers because look, those customers is important. We want volume. The more customers you have, the better it is because the more money you're going to make on your customer side. But remember, your business is all about duplication. It's all about duplication.
That's awesome, because you do need people excited to reach other people, and that's where the leverage, the real key of leverage, isn't it, for this business?
Absolutely.
And what about, how do you coach people if someone, they've been in for a while and they have either setbacks or they're feeling discouraged? What's your advice?
I tell them to stay discouraged, and they have all the right in the world to stay discouraged for 2 minutes. Get over it. No, look, everybody's going to be discouraged at one time or another. I usually, it was funny because usually if I'm talking to a couple in my organization, I usually tell them, just make sure if you're discouraged, you're not all discouraged at the same time. I say, you can be discouraged this week, but make sure not the two of you discouraged at the same time. Look, and that's what's going to encourage you to go forward is very simple. It's the dream. And this is why making sure that you know the reason that people are involved and working with you. You have to know that, because when they get discouraged, that's where you go to get encouraged again. It's not about going presidential and making the money. It's not about the incentive trips. It's not about none of that. It's about saying to that person, but listen, when you first got involved, the reason you got involved is because you wanted to send your kid to this university that costs a lot of money, that you were trying to build your business so you can get the money to be able to send that. So it's all about them and what it is that they were looking for when they got started. And that's what makes them stay in the business, stay motivated about the business. Because I could come here and motivate you, and you'll probably be motivated for, I don't know, some people maybe one day, some people 1 week, some people 1 month, But that's not what's really going to motivate you. I was motivated because I really didn't want to have a job. I didn't want to have a boss, and I didn't want to get up early in the morning. So every time somebody gave me a no, I was like, fine, next. I'm just looking for the other person that might say, yes, I'm interested. Because I knew I didn't need a lot of people to be interested. I just needed 3 or 4 people to be interested. But I knew that I had to go to hundreds of people to find those 3 or 4 people who were interested. And I was willing to do that. So if you're willing to do that, see, it's a numbers game. If you are willing to go through the numbers and you know it's not personal, right? But it's a numbers game, and you just go through the numbers, you do the sifting, and you go through the numbers, you're going to find the people. It's just a matter of going through the numbers. Sometimes you got to go through. Look, one of the richest men that I know in this industry, when I left him, this guy was making millions of dollars. I mean, nobody in Manatech made close to what this guy was making. Not even close. Mm-hmm. But the first 19 people that he spoke to, everybody said no. 19 people, imagine that. You go speak to 19 people, the first 19, they say, no, we're not interested, you're stupid, it's not going to work, you're wasting your time, blah, 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 this, all that stuff. The guy became one of the richest men in North Carolina. So what he did was he just kept talking to people. Kept talking to people. So somebody says, what resources do I use? Look, again, I mentioned Rapid Funnel. I don't know if you guys know anything about that, but that's what we are using in the US. The last year, we actually create a system that's an app, kind of like Penny, but it's just for prospecting. So I don't want to create any confusion with anybody, but if you guys want to know more, you call Chris. Chris Simons will be able to tell you, okay?
Is that the same as the rapid, what's they calling something to PD?
Rapid PD?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys know about that?
Well, they are launching it soon.
Well, let me tell you something. Everything that I need to build my business is right here. And let me tell you, Rapid PD is an app that can revolutionize your business. Since Chris is going to launch it soon, I might as well tell you guys a little bit about it, because I was the one that
I'm going to be in trouble. Nobody tell anybody. I'm going to look, see who's here.
So all I can say to you is, it's an app that has the presentation. It has the app has the peak, right? So you pique somebody's interest. It has the presentation, it has the follow-up, and it has the getting started. It's all in there. So you don't have to think about anything. You don't have to go look for resources. So I don't know who asked me. I think Pauline was the one that asked, what resources do I use? All the resources are in here. And it's all put there by Manatech. And it's all resources that are working. So you guys get Chris to get Mike to give you guys a training.
Awesome. So, I mean, I know they did a meeting recently and they're talking about it. And also there's a recent presentation that Kevin Robin does. I don't know if everybody's done that new video.
I don't know.
Sure, but anyway,
I don't want to confuse you.
Yeah, they're Australianizing that as well. They're on the job. So
are you talking about the new slides presentation?
Yeah.
That says, "Are you living your best life?"
Yes.
Well, that's what we use, and we just shorten it to 6 minutes from 13 minutes. So it's awesome. It's quick. It's to the point. Guys, look, you're gonna get me excited. I'm gonna talk fast, and you're not gonna know what I'm saying. So don't get me excited. Okay.
It's revolutionizing your business, I bet.
I'm telling you, all over. Because you see, here's the thing. People don't build the business, or people don't talk to people because they don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they get scared. So and then it's not duplicatable.
Yeah.
So look, the biggest thing is you just don't fight changes in terms of how to build a business, because some people don't want to change. They want to do the same old way. Listen, we are in the age of this. Yeah. This is not going to go away, guys. So the best advice I can give you is learn it. And it's easy. It's not hard to learn. It's easy to learn. It comes with short videos that tells you everything that you need to do to set it up, to get prospects and contacts in there. It's really in there. But I'm telling you, what this is going to do for you, it's going to make your business very duplicatable. It's going to make your business very teachable, easy for you to teach your people. And when people say, what do I send for resources? It's right here. You just click a link, click share, and it goes. And then you're going to be able to see how much they've looked at. It's amazing. I just leave it at that.
Some of us long timers might have to unlearn some skills.
I had to do that. So join the club.
So awesome. And I'm thinking about people here. I think we're excited. Like Chris is really on top of things. And I'd also like to acknowledge you and other of the longtime leaders that launch things like this, that trial them and create them and envision them, and then they're available for everyone. So we'll be very grateful in Australasia when our turn comes, which I think is it's imminent anyway. Can't give a date, but I know they've been talking about it.
There's two apps that's going to help you a lot. One is Penny that you mentioned. I'm sure you guys probably seen Penny. Penny connects to your back office and it tells you everything about your business. All the data, all the people. That's awesome, you know. Rapid PD is all about prospecting. Those two apps will revolutionize your business.
Awesome. So we'll all be looking forward and I know corporate will do some, we'll do backup trainings on this call too with people who are already using it. So I can see people going, oh, how can I do this? But that's just natural curve in learning new skills. So
guys,
it's getting
to easy. I'm telling you guys, it's easy.
Awesome. So we're at the end of our questions, to be honest, which feels like a beautiful place to end. So where do you see Manatech going in the next 10 years? And what's left in your heart to share with people aspiring to partner?
This is my 19th year in Manatech now. And I can tell you, products are coming. I can't tell you really, but I can tell you there's some exciting stuff coming. and that's just not to get you excited and get motivated, but let me tell you, just make sure every single one of you are first of all registered for Manifest, because you're going to see some new product launches at Manifest, which is going to be exciting. But let me tell you, apart from that, outside of that, I think Manatech is working on being a $1 billion company, guys. I mean, seriously, the future of this company is so bright. You guys know the power of our products. I mean, our products are powerful. The things that I've been seeing, the things that I've been hearing, there is no question that Manatech's goal is to be a $1 billion company. I've known Al Bala since 1987. That's 35 years. The man is as good as you're gonna get. He understands the business side of the business, and he understands the corporate side of the business. And let me tell you, his heart is on the business side of the business with the field. No question about that. You know, and he understands because he built a business himself for so many years that he understands our needs. You know, sometimes we don't get all of it because it's not only him making that decision, but I can tell you, we are in good hands. I know the Fredericks, the owners of the companies, we are in good hands with them. We are in good hands with the people in corporate. So, you know, I mean, look, it's not utopia, but nothing is, you know. But I can tell you that the goal is $1 billion company. My question to you is, and all of you, is how many of that $1 billion companies is going to be in your organization? What are the percentage that you're going to claim for yourself? And people say, but you know, you can ask that question. You already have a big business. Listen, when I was getting started in 2003, when I went to Manifest, my entire organization was me and 2 other guys. My volume was 300 PV. So if I can do that, you can do that. You can start building your business today, and you can create a bigger business right now than what Ray Robbins has right now in Manifest. There's only one thing that stops you. You know what that is? Your mindset. It's the only thing that stops how big your business can be. Is your thought process and your mindset. And people say to me, but how can you say that? I could take my computer and show you my house, you know, show you my bookshelves and how many books I have. And that's the reason I was able to change this. And let me tell you, to change your business, you have to change something. But the biggest something that you have to change is going to be you. Because I can tell you, because I mean, that's what happened to me. I went from a guy who was afraid to speak to people. Look, I'm going to tell you this one story that if this doesn't leave you with that feeling, man, if that guy can do it, whew, I know I can do this. Listen, the first time I went to a major function, I was recognized for reaching a level. It was 10,000 people in a room, Washington, D.C. And I went across stage and the guy says to me, can you tell us your first name and your last name and where you're coming from? I told him my first name. I was so scared I forgot my last name. And that is not an exaggeration, Sharon. I couldn't remember my last name because I was so scared of speaking in public. And here I am 35 years later, speaking to you and the organization and telling you, hey, this thing works. If I can do it, you can do it. You just have to make it and believe it that you can do it too. You're muted.
Oh, sorry. Our dog's going crazy today.
That's okay. Hey, listen, dogs is part of the business. So
yeah, exactly. Home business equals dogs and kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can remember the first time I did a Saturday call, and somebody said, Sharon, you got to do this. You'd be good at this. And I don't remember anything about that at all. And that was like, I don't know, 20 years ago or something like that. So exactly. Luciano, God bless you. You've so blessed us today. And there's a lot of gratitude in that chat for that. Thank you. And thank you for giving us so generously every year.
Well, listen, it's an honor. I mean, it really is an honor to come and share with you guys. You know how to find me always. So I know I know last time it was my mistake, my miscommunication with you. But anytime that I can help, more than willing to. I'm excited. Look, my goal is to get Manatech growing everywhere. Not my group, Manatech. Australia, yeah. New Zealand, UK, everywhere. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So, but awesome. Thank you for the invitation. Appreciate it. You guys, it's been fun sharing with you. Let's get our business moving forward. Let's put Manatech in the map of $1 billion group.
Mm. Awesome. Thank you so very much, Luciano. Thank you to everybody who's here. I don't know who's the speaker next week. I don't have anybody confirmed, but we do have Dr. Nugent, Naomi, and the Diana Hunter panel coming soon. So watch your emails and I'll have it all confirmed in the next week. Thanks, Luciano.
Thank you.
See you again.
Bye-bye.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
God bless you too.